Welcome to an incredible evening of Atlanta Live. I'm Coach Katlyn. I'll be your host tonight. We have some incredible guests lined up. We have Shay Samuels, David Benton, Dan Palmer, and Tom Balog. You do not want to miss this show tonight, and thank you for tuning in. I want to encourage you. I know you're going to be blessed tonight. This is an incredible opportunity for us to bring the presence of the Lord into wherever we are, whether it's our homes, whether we're at work, whether we're at school, wherever you are. This is a great opportunity to bring the presence of the Lord into your home. So I invite you to share this good news, this good message tonight. Follow us on Facebook. WATC.tv will allow you to see where all you can view this. And we invite you, if you're on Facebook right now, to share it. Let everyone know you're watching, because we know tonight you're going to be blessed, you're going to be transformed, and you are going to see God come through in mighty ways. Now more than ever, we need the presence of God. And now we get to hear the great worship from Shay Samuels. It will be all right.
One person at a time, one heartbeat at a time. When I look in the mirror, what I say to myself is, it was all worth it in the end. Oh, life ain't always what it seems to be. Sometimes it will get rough. Hold your head up high, hold your head up high. To know which way to go, you better keep that smile. Look to the sky and know, oh, that it will be alright. It will be alright. Oh, said it will be alright. It will be alright. Sometimes I ask myself, one question at a time, one person at a time, one heartbeat at a time. When I look in the mirror, what I say to myself is, it was all worth it in the end. Oh, life ain't always what it seems to be. You'll have your highs and lows. Keep your head up high to know which way to go. You better keep that smile. Look to the stars and know, oh, that it will be alright. Said it will be alright. Oh, said it will be alright. It will be alright. I told you it'll be alright. When I was down to my last dime, Jesus stepped in right on time. My soul was sick and I couldn't get well, but He healed my body. Now I can tell that life ain't always what it seems to be. You'll have your highs and lows. Keep your head up high to know which way to go. You better keep that smile. Look said it will be alright. They said you'll never make it. Said it will be alright. But you're standing here. It will be alright. It will be alright. Said it will be alright.
Wow, what incredible worship and singing we have from Shay Samuels. I'm so excited that we get to hear more from her tonight. And what an incredible message. It will be all right. I think now in today's society more than ever, that's a message that we need to hear, that with God, it will be all right. He works all things together for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. So I'm excited that we get to hear more from Shay tonight. But right now, I'm so excited to welcome our first guest to the set, Mr. Dan Palmer.
What's going on, Coach?
Hi,
how are
how's it
you?
going? Good
Great.
to see
Good to see
you.
you too. So excited to be here.
Excited to have you.
Yes.
So, Dan, tell us.
Well, hold on. That Shay just blew that up.
Right?
My mind blown. I get to travel and speak and hear worship all over the place. She's anointed. I just had to put that out there. I don't even know her.
Yes.
I just met her, and that was just phenomenal. Great job. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
It was awesome, and we get to feel all the chills here in the studio.
Yes.
So I hope that you're feeling those in your home because it was incredible.
Incredible.
And we get to hear more from her tonight.
I'm excited.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so Dan, tell us a little bit about you.
About me, well, I'm just a guy that loves Jesus a lot. We work at the Atlanta Dream Center. I get to lead the charge there, and we're in the front lines of rescuing women out of sex trafficking,
Yes.
men and women out of homelessness, and prevention for children in high-risk areas. And so that's what we do, and that's my daily job, which is unbelievable. The Lord let me do that. I have 9 children.
9 children.
Yeah, so I'm busy. Yeah, I have a 20-year-old who's about to be 21 and a 3-year-old and everything in between.
Okay.
So 5 princesses and 4 guys, just dudes. And yeah, so my life is absolutely busy, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
That's incredible. So you're juggling a lot. Now, for those watching tonight that may not know what the Atlanta Dream Center is, can you give us a little bit of a background of what the Atlanta Dream Center is?
Sure. So actually my dad, my mom, a couple of bros. I'm from a big family, 11 of us, 11 kids. So yeah, we moved
It's a trend.
It's a trend, yeah. I was actually in Atlanta doing business. They're originally from California. And I was doing business out here. And my mom actually had a dream when she came out here. I was taking her around to the underground area down that time. And she just said, they need a place where people can dream again. And we're walking around, a bunch of people are homeless and people are just in despair. And so at that point, they left everything, packed up and came out. And we're already out here. And we started the Dream Center 17 years ago. Our motto was find a need and meet it. Sounds great, but there's a lot of needs, and one source cannot do that. So we've kind of switched into things as we move forward and kind of narrowed in, and that's, like we said, just really getting into our niche. There's a lot of different great organizations, but our niche is in the rescue business.
Okay.
So like we go out, introduce ourselves to who we are, to the ladies on the street, which we actually kind of have a van that goes up and a couple ladies that jump out of our van, hand them a flyer, hand them a rose with a number. And on that, and tell them that they're princesses and they're still loved, to give them a card that tells them that Jesus still loves them, that they're cared for. And on there it says, if you want out, and it's a hotline. It's a 24/7 hotline, so we have a bunch of volunteers for that hotline. When they call us in 90 minutes, within 90 minutes, we're there to rescue them into our safe house and get them off that situation. And there we do case management, share the gospel with them. They do not have to receive the gospel. That is not a requirement, but they will hear about the gospel. They will hear the good news of the Lord and who he is. And from that place, we then find out the best long-term care. Similar to homelessness, we get them off within a day or two, situational, and we also get them to long-term care. They share the gospel, find out what their needs are, find out where they're at, and then get them to long-term care. And then we're in the high-risk areas where kids are high risk. Actually, the average woman that gets into sex trafficking is 12 years old.
Wow.
So we're there to prevent that. So we do prevention programs from after-school programs, mentor programs, discipleship programs. That's what we do on a daily basis.
That's incredible, and I really want to hear more about the rescuing, because I think a lot of times people don't realize, we hear that Atlanta is the biggest hub for sex trafficking, but we don't really, it doesn't register with us. Now, 17 years ago, because I have found that what really kind of spurred on the sex trafficking awareness in America was Liam Neeson's movie, where he was like, okay, we've got to do this. And I think
I'm better than him. I'm way faster. I do it faster.
Of course. But it really made us all realize, oh, wow, this is happening today. And so 17 years ago when you started, because I always find that fascinating to say, all right, Mom, this is a great dream, you know, like.
Let's go do this.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was Jesus' mom who gave that idea for the first miracle. Moms always know best.
Moms
but how did y'all get started? What was that process of just, okay, we're just going to try to help rescue everybody, or
No,
how did
really,
that evolve?
honestly, we weren't even in that arena. Honestly, we just went into one of the tougher spots of Atlanta at the time with the old 4th Ward. And the street that we hit was called $1 Million Mile, 17 murders in that street that year alone when we joined onto it. And they sold $1 million of the crack every week in that area. We just jumped there and we just started. And like I said, we started with find a need and meet it. We were just doing everything, doing job creations and a dot to block program. We knock on doors and say, how can you serve them in their community? And just we would paint houses sometimes. We take out trash, end up babysitting people's kids, and just there and just being present and loving people and showing them value. It kind of comes from the concept of most people walk over a penny because they don't see the value, but when you see the value, you become rich. And every person is rich to God, so they're valuable. So just bringing value in time, we realized what we couldn't do. And we also realized what we were really good at. And we found a niche which was missing. There's a lot of programs, and then there's the homeless and those that caught in sex trafficking, nothing in between.
Okay.
Unless they're going to jail or somehow they encounter some kind of situation. So our job was to be the rescue agent and the bridge between the need and the answer.
Yeah.
Right? And there's so many great programs out there. We have partners, 50 to 60 partners on both sides of this human trafficking side and also on the homeless side. So we just got good at that. And so, and a lot of people didn't want to get on the streets. They felt it was dangerous. We go out. Doesn't matter. We're out in COVID right now. We go. We're in the front lines. That's what we do. It's kind of my style. I want to be out there in the front lines. I can't do the Liam Neeson thing. I wish. Just not that cool.
Hey, it's pretty close.
Yeah, we do it with the gospel though. We do it with a smile. We do it with love. And so yeah, we have an incredible team that I get to work with that I just am so inspired every morning to wake up. What I get to do is great, and then who I get to work with is great. And so yeah, we just narrowed into it. So in time. But the bottom line is what started it was we're willing just to go find out what we could do and spend time until we figured it out.
Right.
And then we found out what we were good at and where was a niche, and we jumped on in. That's what we do. We're actually considered the #1 rescuers out of sex trafficking in the U.S. at this point in time.
That's incredible, and right here in Atlanta. And I want to kind of harp on that for a second because I feel like there are a lot of viewers today, and in the cultural climate that we're in right now, a lot of people feel like they want to do something, they just don't know where to begin. And you guys just kind of jumped right in and you said, hey, we're just going to go for it. So what would you say to those viewers tonight that are feeling like they want to do something for their communities? You know, the Bible said, go to Jerusalem, then Judea, then to the world. So what would you say to someone who just wants to make a difference in their community? What would be your advice?
Yeah, I mean, just do it. I mean, honestly, if you have to have everything planned and organized and get a business plan and try to get your donor base up, and donors are not going to be inspired to give you donations until you're doing something in the first place. It's not like business where you raise capital for a great idea. You have to show a good idea to raise some kind of capital. You really just have to go out and do it. And what I would say this, though, is that don't be moved by compassion. Compassion, you'll be moved by every next need out there, and you're going to find yourself burned out. Be led by the Holy Spirit, what He's gifted you in, and do that job. And there's lots of ways of doing it. If you're a great businessman and you care about homelessness, well, I'm just using ours, but you can use this for whatever it might be, feedings or whatever it might be. You don't have to go out and actually feed a homeless person. Do well at your business and donate to those that are doing a great job. If you don't have a lot of money and that's not something you do, but you have time, then come and volunteer time. You don't have to be in the front lines. There's actually a lot of organizations doing a lot of great things. Jump in and join them, and then when you see a need, meet it. Because you'll be surprised there are a lot of needs being met, but you'll also be surprised there's still a lot of needs to be met. And we need other organization, great creativity. So Holy Spirit led instead of moved by compassion, you'll burn out with compassion. But when you're moved by the Spirit, you just don't get burned out. You know what to say no to. And you know what to say yes to. And when you know that, you can then do your lane and do it well and partner with other great partners who are doing fabulous things out there.
I think that that's such fabulous advice, to be led by the Holy Spirit, because it's so easy to just be like, well, they're in need and they're in need, and I just need to do this, and you can really get burnt out from that. So that's powerful. So now you guys have moved into the homeless sector and rescuing women from trafficking. How did you guys get into rescuing women from trafficking?
I think actually met another organization who was helping us, but we actually were doing this, what's called Princess Night. That was our part where we go out and give the roses and let the ladies, and also gave them a number. And at that point, we just kind of fumbled around and figured it out. So they called, and we started rescuing them. And we met another organization called Out of Darkness, and they were actually the rescuers. That's what they did, but they didn't go out. So there was this bridge, so we met. Now we're all under one branch. And actually, the guy that started Out of Darkness, he's my executive director of the Atlanta Dream Center, one of my great friends. And so we are just a big team now. It's all one organization of the Atlanta Dream Center. But that's how it started. And so now he was really good at that portion of it. We're really good at finding the need, finding the women that wanted to get rescued, put that together. Then we have a safe house now. We didn't have that at first, but now we have a safe house where we house the ladies for 3 to 6 weeks to do case management, medical, spiritual, emotional health, see how they are, give them some clothing that's theirs. Something that they get to use that gets taken from them. They get a space that's theirs. They actually get a bed that's theirs. And that's unbelievable for some of these ladies. They haven't had it for years, maybe since 12 years old. Haven't had something that they own that they got to have. They actually have a store they get to shop from to get their clothes at our place.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. And then from there, we just find the long-term care they need. Some get to go back to families. Some get to go back to a job program, and some go to other types of programs. We just find out what's best for them. And during that time, we just share Jesus with them and share the love of God the whole time.
That's incredible, and I love that you guys partnered with another organization. I think that a lot more partnerships need to happen in order to make a greater impact. So now y'all have been able to team up and have double the impact. Now, tell me about these Princess Nights. You mentioned the Princess Nights. So what are the Princess Nights?
Yeah, so we have volunteers can come. You go through a little bit of a training that night of training, and you can join us, and you can go to our webpage to check all those times out, and when you can do that. And you come in, and you do a quick training, and then we usually have a male to 2 males driving our van. And then now we have about 3 people in the van, 3 ladies in the van because of COVID. So got to do it that way, a little more spacing. Usually it's a little bit more in that time. And then we drive to areas that we know that we're going to find these ladies at. At that point, we'll be praying, and we write out cards for them previously. And the card will have scriptures or just say that you're still beautiful, you're still valued, you are a princess. And then under there, we'll have a number for them, a phone number. The ladies will pull up, the ladies will jump out really quickly because the women aren't free to have conversation. So we give them a quick thing to say, hey, we want you to know that you're loved, you're cherished. And if you really want off these streets, we will get you off safely. And then, like I said, when they call, we get them off within 90 minutes. We have safe places for them to be. And that's how we do it. And that's the thing. Sometimes they jump in the van with us.
That's incredible. I mean, out there on the front lines, rescuing women, and what a great creative way to do it. Every woman wants to be a princess, so that's an incredible way to do it. What would you say, because obviously you're not going to a hidden building behind somewhere. These are open areas in Atlanta that you all are going to. What are some of the signs that, you know, perhaps individuals can see that are signs of sex trafficking? I think a lot of times one of the things we do is we miss it. We miss it in our day-to-day lives. So what are some signs that we can look for?
Well, right now, I mean, and I wish I could tell you as an expert, Jeff Shaw and my team are really the experts. I do know some of the signs, but what I really would tell you, it's switched from back in the day where it's all street. We are working on the streets, that's where we do work, but now you got the online portions, you have hotels, issues, knowing where it's at, and the biggest thing, the signs is, I mean, you can look at them and to know that they're hurting or lost. You can look at their skin, you can look in their eyes, you can see the situation. Who are they with? Why are they with? Were they just with one other person, now they're with somebody else? Different ways, and awareness is it. But we have actually a huge training that's way more thorough than that actually helps people learn how to be aware, even in small towns. I was just on the beach. I love to surf. I'm from California. Storms were up in Louisiana, so I just got back just went for 3 days, me and my buddy.
That's
from California.
awesome.
But we were there on the beach, and there are signs of sex trafficking taking place there.
Wow.
It's a small little town, but those are the things happening. And a lot of times when there's tourism, when there's big events, it's also when those things happen. They actually bring girls in. A lot of girls get moved around. They don't just stay in one location, so they get lost, don't know where to go, can't find a place of safety. So there's all different dynamics you could be looking for, but I default to my awesome team that is the smart ones. I just power them and let's go get it.
Yeah, you're like, let's go rescue it.
Keep rescuing.
And is there, now I'm sure that you've heard from your team, if someone does see some type of sex trafficking or they are concerned, can they contact you all?
We would not suggest that if they're actually concerned, they need to call, because we're there is when the lady is ready to get off the street. Okay. We would say call the authorities. And what's good about that, the authorities will show up. They may not do an arrest, but the fact that the pimp saw there was somebody aware of that place closes down the location. You close down down the locations, you start pushing them in corners. Push them in corners, we can find out where they're at and more track what's going on.
Wonderful. So y'all are rescuing the ladies. So how can people find out about volunteering for these princess
Yeah, that's
nights?
on our webpage, atlantadreamcenter.org,
Okay.
atlDreamCenter.org. That's how you can find it, and it has a volunteer. You can be a part of the donation process. One thing about donation, do it or not do it, I get to do this part. It's awesome. We get the rescue text. So my phone goes off 2 to 3 times a day saying another person has been rescued.
Wow.
Thank you for you participating in it. And or you can volunteer and come to our
Wow.
events. We're not open to volunteerism because of COVID until Saturday. It opens up on Saturday.
Well, perfect.
Yeah, it works out perfect.
Perfect.
In fact, it's going to be limited space and limited amount because of that, but it will pick up in time as we keep going forward.
So if you are interested in finding out how you can plug in, atlDreamCenter.org.
Yes, ma'am.
atlDreamCenter.org, and what a perfect time because it is Saturday. You can start having that limited volunteer capacity. Now, besides the rescuing, you mentioned homelessness. So what all programs do you all have that individuals can volunteer in?
So, well, that's another one. We have what's called Compassion Night. It's our Thursday night for outreach to our homeless, where we go out and feed them. But when we feed them, we also give them a number. We spend time with them. We have a closing closet that comes with us. They actually go through. We kind of set up all nice with lights and wooden floors. They get to go pick out their own clothes. So they have an interview, they have a suit, they just need new clothes, and they come all the way through, which is awesome. But because of COVID, we've actually really picked up. So we're only doing 100 meals, about 150 meals a week at that time, but it caused us to do a lot of rescues. Of course, that's what we're there to do. So we also rescue them off the street and get them in long-term care.
Okay, so you're rescuing the homeless as well.
100%, yeah. So just this year alone, I think it's actually I had a number, 33 women, 99 men since January. But since COVID, that number for women is 24 of that 33 and 55 of that 92 since March 16th.
Wow.
Because we're out there. So every day now we're feeding 250 to 500 meals a day. We go out to the homeless and we feed them, hand them also our information, say if you want off the street, get off the street, and they're wanting off the street. We are basically getting a person off the street daily at this point in time, sometimes twice daily. So it's pretty awesome. So yeah, we do the same idea. We just don't have a safe house for them. They don't need that. They don't need to get away from a pimp situation or that. Right. So within 24 to 48 hours, we usually have them off the street after we do case managing, find out what's best with them. And here's the great thing. We don't push them into an organization the next thing. We ask them, do you want this one? This one, this is what they'll service you. This is what we do for you. And if you don't like it, call us and we'll move you. So we actually service them to make them feel valuable, that their decisions matter, that we don't tell them what they need, they find out what they need.
That is incredible. And what a great opportunity to pour into, to donate. Can people make clothing donations? And
well, we take donation clothing, a little bit of that, not a lot. We have tons of it right now because it's been the clothing store closed. But most of it is financial donation or your time is kind of what we're after right now. And there is on our webpage, if you look at it, there are some donations for feeding. We're looking for some more snacks. We need more drinks. Right now we're actually overloaded, but typically we do. So yeah, that's typically how people get involved.
Wonderful. Well, that is atlDreamCenter.org. I encourage you all to go on there and find out how you can plug in and get involved. I mean, that's incredible that you all provide those who donate with text every time someone is being rescued. A lot of times you don't know where your money goes, but to know that you're saving someone off the streets every single time, that's incredible.
We believe it's a team effort. I mean, it's a team effort to make these things happen. They're a team.
That's incredible. Dan, what an incredible conversation tonight. Guys, again, atlDreamCenter.org. You have to go. You have to find out. Get plugged in on these Princess Nights, homelessness, and just go to the website, atlDreamCenter.org, and find out how you can plug in and help this incredible organization, because now more than ever, we need to bring hope, especially into the city of Atlanta. And if you change one life, you can change the world. And so now I'm so inspired by this, and we get to have some more worship by Shay Samuels that says, I'm good. She's singing, I'm good.
A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drive the bones.
It's about 8 in the morning, I'm just waking up. Got the Folgers on brew, about to fill my cup. While I'm looking out the window at the sun come up, I'm good. I'm good. About to get my day started. Off to work, about to make them dollars. If only you knew what I've been through, you would smile and say that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good, and my bills are paid. paid out. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid out. I got food on the table. I know that He's able. Thank God I'm good.
Yeah. He's so good.
Thank God I'm good.
Magnificent.
I thank God I'm good.
So good.
I thank
Lord, you
God
good.
I'm good.
That's why I'm good.
Oh yeah.
You are magnificent, great. Your feeling is hate, very ignorant grace. So intimate place, your heart of innocence make a life different break. The so sensitive sinning, could the enemy hate? You are the sun, stars, and the moon. You are that beam of light when it's dark in the room. When I depart from the womb, you're the air that I breathe. Always there when I need you, preparing for peace. You're so good.
I got a good job.
So good.
And my bills are paid out.
I'm good.
And my family's good.
Yeah.
My health is good.
Yes.
I thank God that I'm
Magnificent.
I got a good job. I'm good.
So good.
And my bills are paid out.
Yeah.
I got food on the table. I know that He's able. Thank God I'm good. I got a good job.
Thank you, Lord. Through the
And my bills are
pandemic,
paid out.
through everything we're going
And my
through, Lord.
family's good.
You're
My
still
health
good.
is good. I thank God that I'm
Lord, we come together now, right now in your name.
so good. So
The enemy trying to separate us,
so
but it won't happen. Why?
Lord, you've been
Yeah.
so good to me.
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have.
Yes, Lord.
I'm telling you, Lord, you've been
Yeah.
so good to
So
me.
good.
Good.
So good.
Lord,
Stay encouraged.
you've been so
Stay encouraged.
good, so good.
Yes.
Lord,
You're magnificent.
so
He
good.
said he'll never leave you nor forsake you. He's right there. He's right here in the midst.
Better than I've been to myself.
Thank you, Lord.
Better than anybody
Thank you,
else.
Father.
So good, so good. Better than I've been to myself.
Thank you.
Better than anybody else.
Yes.
So good, so good
David
to me.
What incredible worship once again from Shay Samuels and David Benton. Every time they sing, I know that you're feeling the chills we're feeling in here in your home. And tonight again has been so inspirational so far. I hope again that you will go to atldreamcenter.org and find out more about how you can plug in. And excitingly enough, we get to hear some more from Shay tonight, some great worship. So I'm excited for what God's doing tonight. And I know that the presence that's in here is in your home tonight. And I'm thrilled to welcome our next guest who's going to bless you. His name is Mr. Tom Balog. Welcome.
Hey, Coach. It's a blessing to be here tonight.
Great to have you.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having me.
being here. So Tom, thank you for being here tonight.
It's a pleasure, a blessing, really is.
Yes, so tell us about where you come from, who you are.
Sure. I mean, right now, I'm the executive director at the Lawrenceville Cooperative Ministry. But prior to that, you know, I've been a work in progress. I was out in the business world before 2000 and just felt a calling in my life that the Lord was saying, you know, you're doing well, but I've got something for you. Mm-hmm. And I was taking some time off and just felt a call to go into ministry. Mm-hmm. Ended up going to seminary and doing church work for about 16 years. And the last part of that was being a business administrator at my home church, which I loved, but I was missing that hands-on stuff. And, you know, they say, watch what you ask for.
Yeah.
And then the job at the co-op opened up. And Linda Friend, who was the previous director, wonderful job there. To follow Linda, you don't fill her shoes. You just hope to fill half the shoes. Or
Right.
she is such a blessing to the ministry. And so for the last 3.5 years, I've been there, and it's just been a God journey. God's been good. The blessings throughout life. Married to the love of my life, Dawn. Have 2 grown girls, Lennox and Reagan, and he's put me in this spot, and is teaching me along the way. It's a blessing to serve others. We don't bless others in serving. We're blessed to be able to serve.
That's so good. And I love, the Bible says we didn't come to be served. Jesus said we came to serve. And I'm going to talk about your job now, but I want to go back to something you said. You were in the business world and you were on this one track in this, I would say, comfortable. We get into our comfortable rhythms of life, and this is where I'm at. What was, and I believe that there are many people who have been in comfortable places, and this year has really caused them to, reinvent and say, what am I doing? Do I like what I'm doing? Is God calling me to something? What was the thing that gave you the push to really switch it up? Because that's a brave thing to do, is switch it up and have that call to ministry and say, all right, we're going for it. What was the turning point for you?
It was really getting involved with my church, and I was in a disciple class, and there are just things that God led me to. And then in my job, I was doing well, like you said. You're comfortable. I was upwardly mobile. Things were going well, but there was something missing, that satisfaction of doing what you were created to do. It's like being a piece of equipment that was being used for the wrong reason. And as you put it out there, and like you said, that uncomfortableness, I always tell people I was a math and science guy. The idea of, God calling me into ministry, I used to sweat when it was like going around school and introduce yourself, and, what'd you do in the summer? And I didn't listen to anybody because I was so concerned about that. So this call, but that's when I knew it was a God thing.
Right.
Because I could not do that in my own strength and my own understanding. And He's filled me up. He's corrected my course so many times, and has just shown me a path. And when I open myself to Him, it's abundantly clear.
That's incredible, and I love what you said there. You said, it was like I was a machine, but I was being used for the wrong thing. I wasn't being used for my purpose. And so what would you say to somebody tonight who has that feeling and they're saying, I feel this tug to jump out, but I'm scared? What would you say to them tonight?
Talk to the people that you trust. I went to our pastor at our church. I was, married at the time, so, your spouse has, she didn't marry somebody that was going into ministry.
Right.
But talk to the people and get that prayer group around you that's going to pray you through it. Yeah. And I was blessed to have that surrounding. But talk to people that have been through it.
Right.
Spend your own prayer time. Spend your time studying the Bible, and just talk to people who are out there. But don't push it aside.
Yeah.
It'll come. It'll be in God's timing. And like I said, I'm not there. God is still working on me and the plans He has for me.
And I think we're all a work in progress, so that's
Amen.
a good thing to be encouraged about. But I love what you said there, seek wisdom. And sometimes it's just about exploring it and then seeing where it takes you. Like you said, God opened those doors for you to go to seminary and to switch it and do a different career and what He called you to do. So God will lead you on the right path. But, the Bible also says there's wisdom in a multitude of counselors. And so that's great advice to be able to seek that wisdom and those counselors. I hope that was encouraging to you, because I feel like there are some of you tonight who are watching and you're feeling that same sense of, this is my purpose, or I just feel a tug. And that's great advice to begin to seek that out and don't push it aside, because like Tom said, it'll come back up. So Tom, tell us about the Lawrenceville Co-op. What is that? What do you guys do?
Sure. Prior to 1995, there was a group group of pastors. I've heard it was somewhere 8 to 12 pastors that would get together from local churches. They get together about once a month, kind of talked what was going on in the community. And what they did was pass almost this checkbook that they would keep up with for a month. They almost looked forward to that Saturday to pass it to the next person to help. And they were each trying to say, how do we keep our own food bank and all this? And they were discussing, saying, this isn't easy. What if we come together and we fund a 501c3 ministry that's a Christian ministry, it's unashamedly Christian ministry, and we support them with monetary donations, food donations, and volunteers.
Wow.
1995, they came to be the Lawrenceville Co-op. It started in the upper room of where the Blue Rooster Cafe is, if anyone knows Lawrenceville. It used to be an upper room there, so you can only imagine. It was a small space. All the stuff had to go up and down stairs and all that. But it's grown since that. So it started with some churches. And now we have up to 26, 28 what we call supporting churches who help in all three categories, and closer to about 50 churches that help in some capacity. Again, we are an unashamedly Christian organization. That won't change. You don't have to be a Christian to be helped there. But you're going to know why we do what we do.
Right.
So it's an organization that came together. The main thing is we're a food bank.
Okay.
Now, we know that sometimes food isn't what the problem is. It comes out of a problem.
Right.
But food can stabilize people so they can start talking about the problem, and you can start talking with them. And as you gain trust with them, and they see that someone loves and cares about them, they have a Lord that cares for them, but they have brothers and sisters that want to find out what's going on. And as you can dig deeper and find what that is, we're also, as Dan says, we collaborate with other places and other resources.
Yeah.
We know we're not the end all. We can't do everything. We can do food well. We have other things that we could talk about that we provide there. That's the main source of what we do. And then let's get you connected. Let's then start taking steps. Stabilize, start taking steps. And as they trust in you and open themselves to you, and you find out a little bit more that's going on with them, it's great to we walk beside them.
Yeah.
We don't pull them. We don't push them.
Yeah.
You walk beside and do life with them.
Right. That's so powerful. You know, that was the model of Jesus in the Bible. He constantly met physical needs before he met spiritual needs. And so I think that's so powerful that y'all are coming together. About how many families do you guys feed?
Well, prior to COVID-19, we were working with about 130 to 150 families a week.
Wow.
The beginning of COVID, especially when spring break week came and there was a big need, we had to change to a drive-through model. We did that for safety concerns and just knowing that the numbers were going up. We usually have them come inside, spend time with them. We served 1,100 families that first week, and right now we're still anywhere between 400 to 600 families a week that we're trying to help with.
That's wonderful. And just to see that many people be fed during such a time when jobs were so insecure and people really needed that. What are some other areas? So you say you're able to build that relationship, and food really is a stabilizer. You know, if a parent can provide food for their family, that's such a huge blessing, and it allows them to really get on their feet. What are some other areas? You mentioned that you try to direct them. The food is your main thing, but what are some other areas that you all work in?
And when we're open, and that's where we're heading back towards, we partner with other agencies. First of all, we work with a couple agencies, Village of Hope, Nothing But the Truth Ministries, and Mending the Gap, who take food to other people. So those that can't get to us, that's something else. We partner with them. We help them with the food that they aren't getting in, and they are able to go out and do that. And they do the same to us. If they have excess of stuff, they give to us. But other things, Nothing But the Truth also has a clinic ministry. So when we're open, when we're going to do that once a week, they come in and they counsel people that have medical questions. And they have their own clinic, and they can tell you, we can help you here, or here's some other places. We're all about, you know, not reinventing the wheel. If there's some place doing something well, why try to take over?
Right.
And if someone's doing something well, there's other gaps that need to be filled.
Right.
We do that. We work with Catholic Charities that comes in and does some financial training classes. And again, you keep hearing the same thing, ministry, ministry. This is all folks that are out doing Christian ministries. And when you can come together and partner that, and like I said, if it's a non-Christian going through, but hearing that message and saying, who are these people that care about me? What makes that, them special? And then you could just have that chance to witness to them. So we work with them. We're working with the Home First initiative that's just started in Gwinnett County. Matt Elder is the executive director of that. Talk with him frequently. They're trying to say, okay, how do we help homelessness in Gwinnett? Gwinnett homelessness is a problem, and right now we don't even have any kind of shelter in Gwinnett County. So they're just trying to start that up. So how can we put somebody up for a little bit while Matt and his team and others work to find a long-range plan? So we work some with that. Short-term stays at some of the extended stay hotels. We'll think outside the box. We had a counselor just call us up this week from Gwinnett County. They had a young man whose family's just gone through a lot of stuff. He needed to go to summer school, but couldn't afford it. Well, we're blessed that we can help in that. So we can't say this is everything we do, because as it comes in, and God leads us to help in so many different areas.
That's incredible, and I love that it's about meeting those needs and about seeing, Matthew 5:16 says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify the Father, and they're seeing good works. If you take care of someone's child, you take care of their household, they're going to want to listen to what you have to say. So what an incredible ministry, and I love the example that you all are setting of learning to work together. And I love that that's been the theme tonight. As we heard the Atlanta Dream Center, they're working with people who are already doing the job good in this area, and they found their area. And you guys have done the same. What led y'all to just decide, you know what, instead of doing our own thing, we're going to partner with people?
There's a group, Gwinnett has a Gwinnett Coalition, and it just starts bringing people together, and that's where conversations start. And it's that same thing where people say, well, why don't you start going in this area? And you go, well, let me find out who's doing that. And as soon as you get the conversations going, that's great. We're, now we're in downtown Lawrenceville is great because we're kind of close together. So it's not you're sending somebody across the city or an hour away to something. We know these folks. And when you know them by name, say you come and visit me and I say, you have a certain thing, and I call up and go, well, let me try to make some calls. And I look confused, but if I call up and I say, hey, Susan, I've got Coach here who really needs some, wait, he knows this person. They have a relationship. Because the other thing I did, we have a clothing ministry that's run by a local church. And again, everyone, instead of us having our own, they're great running that. We give vouchers that they can use to go over there. And like I said, there's so much work that needs to be done as we're doing the research. If someone's doing it well, there's enough gaps saying, you know what, why don't you cover that? And then maybe I can get this gap here instead. So we're willing to grow in other areas too as we need to.
I think that is so powerful to say, why would I do it if I can partner with you and you're already doing it? And I think that's something that is missing in a lot of communities, is working together instead of saying, well, why don't we just do that and we'll just do this and we'll just do this, and you pile on, and that's how you get burnt out. What would you say to a community tonight who's watching and they're maybe thinking, this would be something cool for us to do? What would your encouragement be to them? Where should they start?
Well, the biggest thing, find out if someone's already doing that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
Step one is find out. And if not, again, there's resources out there, or find a place that's doing it close by, especially in the ministry side of things. There's so many special people that will pray you through that and partner with you. That's the neat part of all of this. And like you said, you find your place. When you pray to God, you say, you know what your skills are. God says the body of Christ, not everyone's an arm, not everyone's a leg, and you come together. Our staff's that way. I couldn't do what I do without a staff that fills in the voids that I have. We as a ministry could not do what we do if it weren't for the other ministries filling in those voids. But find out, and if nothing's going on, start doing some research on there. And I think Dan said it too. You got to dip your toe in too. And you got to know God's going to lead you along the way. And there's going to be, you're going to trip and fall sometimes. I've been there, and most times it's because I I have a Tom plan, and I'm following that. And God goes, I'm pulling you over this way.
I think we all fall into that one.
And He's done it so much. I've done some Tom-sized plans, and God says, just move out of the way because we're going here, you know. And He's faithful, and He's got the timeline, and I have just. If you had known me before, I would have been like, oh, I can't, you know.
Right.
I need to know now. I need to know the plan. And now we can open ourselves up, and we know God's got us.
And I think that that's powerful what you're saying, start. Like Dan said and you said tonight, it's starting where you are. And what's the one thing? You guys didn't start doing all these different things. You started with one thing. You started coming together. You started helping each other out, and then it evolved. And so y'all took one step forward, and God's took steps towards you and helped you out, and it evolved. And so any of you watching tonight who are wanting to really start something in your community, meet one need and then begin to work together with other like-minded people to see what other needs maybe are already being met and you can get involved in. Now, particularly, how can people get in touch with you to donate to your organization? And perhaps, I feel like there are some people tonight watching and you're in a community and you feel led to start something like the Lawrenceville Co-op where churches can work together. How can they get in touch with you to maybe shadow what you guys do and then also to donate?
Absolutely. We can get on the website, which is lawrencevilleco-op.org.
Okay.
They can follow us on Facebook.
Everybody's on Facebook. Awesome.
It is. It's so funny. It's something I dabbled in. That Glory came on staff and has just done a wonderful job, and it's helped so many people see where we're at, our most needed things that we need to do, most needed items. But if you get on our website, there's a volunteer tab, there's a donate tab that's going to walk our immediate needs. Volunteering, we love folks to come out.
Awesome.
To come out and see what's going on. Even if you're like, this isn't long term, come find out what we're about and what's going on, and just, you know, start at that point there. But then you can donate financially, you can donate with food. We're always proud to say 70% of what we need comes through donations.
That's incredible. And that is LawrencevilleCo-op.org. LawrencevilleCo-op.org. And you want to find out more about what Tom is doing with the Lawrenceville Co-op and just find out how you can serve your community and be inspired. Thank you, Tom, so much. I know that many have been inspired tonight by you. And now we have an incredible inspirational message by Ken McNatt.
You know, the Bible says in the book of Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning, God. We can stop right there after that statement and realize the significance of who God is and of what God has done, is doing, and will do. Because in the beginning, God. The Bible says in the book of Hebrews chapter 13, verse number 8, Jesus Christ the same, yesterday, today, and forever. In the book of John chapter 1, the Bible says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So when we see in the beginning God, it helps us to understand the concept that God was at the start of things, He is in the continuation of things, and He will be at the end of things. So no matter where you are in the process of life, whether you're at your beginning in your process or coming to the end of your days, you can know God still is. Not He was, not He will be, but He is, present tense. He's with you, and that's a wonderful thing. Again, the scripture says, Jesus Himself talking, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. He's never broke a promise. He'll not break that one. He's with you both now and forever. So I encourage you today, wherever you are in the process of your life, call upon Him and know that He's there and that He's listening, because He made the promise in Jeremiah 33:3, when you call, I will answer you and show you great and mighty things that you know not of. He loves you, I love you, so look to Him and trust Him with all of your heart.
That was so long ago.
Can I tell you you're blessed? You have to remind yourself. Come on, say it with me. I'm more than a conqueror. You're more than a conqueror. Girl, you are so beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Beautiful. Girl, you are so beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Beautiful. Girl, you are so You have to remind yourself. Come on, say it with me. I'm more than a conqueror.
More than a conqueror.
You're more than a conqueror. Girl, you are so beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Beautiful. Girl, you are so beautiful. He gave you the beautiful stars, the beautiful. He gave you everything. Beautiful. He gave you the beautiful bird, the diamond necklace, and the ring. Beautiful. Beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Beautiful. Girl, you are so beautiful. 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 So let your light shine. Sis, can I tell you that you are so bright?
So bright.
That it hurts. Extraordinary in all your ways. So much more.
So much more.
Shine.
Yeah.
You were.
God got you.
Girl,
God got you.
so
Beautiful.
so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, beautiful. Girl, you are so beautiful. He gave you the beautiful stars, the beautiful. He gave you everything. Beautiful. He gave you the beautiful bird, the diamond necklace, and the ring. Beautiful, beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, beautiful. Girl, you are so
You're beautiful.
girl, you are so
Beautiful.
To everything there is a season, to every purpose there's a plan. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. You created all the seasons. You have the whole world in your hands. When you created me, it was your perfect plan. Nobody like you, Lord. No, there's nobody like you, Lord. There is nobody like you. Nobody like you. Nobody like you, Lord. To everything there is a season. To every purpose there's a plan. A time to search and a time to quit. A time to tear away and a time to mend. A time to embrace and a time to turn away. A time for love and a time for hate. A time for war and a time for peace. You created all the seasons. You have the whole world in your hands. When you created me, it was your perfect plan. Nobody like you, Lord. No, there's nobody like you, Lord. There is nobody like you. Nobody like you. Nobody like you, Lord. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got
know you guys have been blessed tonight by Shay Samuels and David Benton, who joined her for a couple of songs. I invite you to go check them out, check out their EPs. You want to listen and download that music. And tonight, we've had some incredible guests. We've had incredible worship. We've had Dan from the Atlanta Dream Center and Tom from the Lawrenceville Co-op. And I believe that tonight's message has been so evident. It's that wherever you are, you can meet a need. Wherever you are in your community, wherever you are in life, you can meet a need. You can step out and you can touch those in your community. And now more than ever, we have the opportunity to serve others and make a difference. And so I invite you tonight to start where you are. In the first place, maybe you've watched tonight and throughout this whole time, you've been saying, you know, I want a personal relationship with Jesus. They've talked about this light and making a difference. I encourage you, whether it's giving your life to Jesus or whether it's you want prayer for this next step, maybe the message of Dan and Tom that they were on one course of life, but then God set a different dream in their heart and they went a different direction. I invite you to call us 770-300-9828. 770-300-9828. We want to come in agreement with you. Whatever you need prayer for, we are here for you tonight. Know that we are praying for you. We stand beside you. We know that God has great plans for you, whether it's serving the people in your home, serving the people in your community, wherever it is. But God has given us a message tonight, and that is we are all called to love one another and serve one another. And that is what we're here for tonight. So again, I invite you to call that number 770-300-9828. You are not alone. We are here with you. I invite you again to check out all of our guests tonight, atldreamcenter.org, lawrencevilleco-op.org, and check out Shay Samuels and David Benton. You don't want to miss out. Be blessed. God has great plans for you, and the best is yet to come. Have a great night.